Still, still convinced you'll end up ganking one of your students. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Nalia, I do attack a lot of the people that I teach, but I don't kill them. But I do clog check. Them. Make sure they are worthy of being taught. 'Cause I don't teach cloggers. Don't support it, don't subscribe to it, don't condone it. Unanticipated engineering check. I mean, that's what Tony uses it for. I can give a shit less if they're engineered or not. My sole purpose is to see if they're going to combat log, which means the entire time they are thoroughly convinced they're going to die. It's kind of the point. If everyone that I attacked knew that I had no intention of killing them, they wouldn't log anyway. They'd just sit there and wait. You know, it defeated the purpose. That's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 there. I lost one of my oldest and most faithful viewers the other day because she thought I was quote-unquote ganking and disagreed with it. And me being the person that I am, I didn't back down. I merely explained. I was like, is this ganking? I said, in their eyes, yes, because they have no intention. They have no knowledge. There is absolutely no foresight whatsoever on their part that I am not going to kill them. So yes, they think they are being picked on and blown up by a more experienced veteran player. They think they are. That's the whole point. That is the entire point of the action. They have to have that thought, or the action in itself is worthless. She got mad at me because one of my targets spun around and one of my targets spun around and boosted into me, and I couldn't get out of the way fast enough, and he wound up blowing up. And she was like, "You just ganked him." I was like, "He just made a mistake and blew up. That's piloting, you know." It's like, I wasn't firing at him, and I wasn't boosting in his direction. In fact, I actually thrusted away from him, boosted lateral thrust, dropped my landing gear to prevent as much forward momentum as possible, just to try to miss him. I was like, there was no missing him. I said, he did that. I said, he made a mistake. That's piloting. But she got mad. Threw this big fit, and then threw a damn temper tantrum, and hasn't been back since. Do I regret my actions? No, I don't. Will her particular opinion sway me from doing those actions again? No. Not at all. I cannot explain how not at all. I play the game my way, and there are very few that understand that way. Come on, cow. Not you, cow. Just like that. To stop momentum and just use lateral thrusters. I mean, there's some forward momentum, but not nearly as much.
1,000 meters from touchdown.
She was like just intently offended, and I was equally apathetic. So Cal, if you're still hanging out, I have a question, man.
Docking procedure complete. Execute system shutdown.
Is this beef between yourself and Pilot for publicity, or is it legitimately just being drug out for as long as it has been? I would have asked the question had you been there or not. Let's see. I need 54 of these. $144 of these. And 63 of these. Had no beef with Pilot, to be honest, beyond his rude behavior and popping into my stream initially and trying to tell me how to run things as a content creator. Well, essentially that is beef, but it's already set. That's what I was wondering. I mean, I didn't know if this was orchestrated for content, you know, just to have the drama on both sides, which would be intelligent on both your parts. It's free content for a while because the subject matters are passionately represented within the community. Or I just assumed, of course, you know, I think differently. I just assumed that it was probably orchestrated for content on both players' part to engage the community. But I say, if it is legit, I guess that makes it genuine. And to an extent, all the more interesting. Then he doubled down and defended comparing in-game to IRL ISIS and was okay with defending the use of sexual assault as an okay term to compare to a game. He went down further than my estimation, I think he meant. Got both veterans and survivors in my Discord who do not find that part okay or not. It was a term of speech. You don't have to do anything now. The ganklings pop up and yeah. That's kind of what I was wondering, if it was orchestrated for content, you know. But then again, I mean, real drama does turn into content from time to time. Jeremy, the quartering, makes 85% of his income on covering other people's fucking stream drama. No, I have no desire to cover Twitch stream drama. No, I'm not going to cover it for you guys. Alright, got a little bit of extra space. 1710 was at the highest. 1710, 1710, 1710, go once, go once, go once. Yep, 1710. Oh, 1790. Damn, would you look at that?
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
It drives view. Yeah, it does. That's literally why I was asking if it was orchestrated for content. If it wasn't, shall I say, then, well, I mean, it still drives content. People pop into chat to Care Bear at me. Yeah, oddly enough, it is a shame how human beings tend to let me word this correctly, because I do talk in your chat. The chats I choose to participate in, including Tony's, I offer my earnest personality, which is a pedantic asshole. So sometimes I take time to put things into correct words and then harp on people who don't and wind up misrepresenting what they're actually wanting to say completely because they use incorrect terminology and say something completely different, which was the whole point of me giving the definitions of the 3 words yesterday. And complaining about, what you're calling Zoomers not knowing the difference. Because there's Zoomers on both sides. It's the generation that picks a word and just says that it means whatever the hell they want it to fucking mean, rather than actually using the correct terminology to articulate their thoughts. But all that said, you keep coming back because I'm a pedantic asshole. Yeah, I that is not a compliment. Just for anyone else, that is not a compliment. It's just it's a statement of fact, and it's not an insult either. It's a fact. I am a pedantic asshole. It's just accept who you are. But that was actually I said all that to explain to you why I sent those 3 definitions, hoping that somebody aside from yourself would read them and understand that, ganking is just every time you attack a ship in this fucking game, if it is not a 50-50 fucking perfectly even match, both experience, engineering, and build style, one of you is ganking the other by definition. Ganking is healthy, okay? Ganking is PvP. I mean, if we only fought equally matched ships all the time, the experienced fighters in us, myself included, would never get to fucking PvP because we'd be ganking everyone else, and nobody else would get better because nobody better than them would fight them. That by definition, ganking is just it's not even use of underhand tactics. Well, yeah, it's the use of underhand tactics to defeat or kill a lesser experienced opponent. Anyone who seizes an opportunity, a weakness that they see in a build, turns it into a gank by that definition. Griefing is what the Zoomers don't understand the difference in. And that's on both sides. When you, for example, when you go to, not you personally, I mean, if you did this, which I doubt you do, but if you did this, it would include you. But when I say you, I'm talking about people in general. When you go to someone's stream just to tender a reaction from them, aside from my stream, it's called Reverend's Rant for a reason. The whole point is to throw me into a fucking rant. But when you go to someone's stream with the intent of upsetting them and causing a reaction, that's griefing. Period. When you kill someone in game for the purposes, here's the kicker, for the purposes of mining salt rather than some type of lorical reason, you're griefing because you're literally doing it for the response. You're not doing it for the action. Griefing is completely different. Is it healthy? It depends. Is there a healthy amount of alcohol one can drink? The answer is yes. The scripture tells you that a little wine is good for the stomach. It tells you that all things in moderation. So you have to weigh that. Is griefing healthy? Well, to an extent, it can be for one person or the other, because you're forcing one person to deal with negative influences in their life, even though it's a video game. And you are also giving someone else an outlet that is healthy to vent their frustrations from life in a non-violent way that they won't go to fucking jail for. So you're allowing someone with anger issues to express their angers in the form of a video game. Yes, it negatively influences someone else, but it also forces that person to deal with someone else's negative reactions. You know, so I mean, is it condonable? Is salt mining condonable? It is therapeutic. And much how getting into a fist fight every now and then in a bar is, I'm going to actually say, healthy for one's development. There is a thing called cauliflower ear, punch drunk. That there are side effects that can be caused by too much of it. Once again, you know, have you found honey? Eat only as much as you need, lest you be filled with it and vomit. All things in moderation. So, I mean, when one of your Zoomers, and I'm going to use that is true, organically produced salt, yes. However, Tony, I love Tony. Absolutely love Tony. I love him because there's no fucking way he's doing what I am doing, which is playing his actual character in the game. There's no fucking way. And let me explain to you why. He would be in prison. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello. No, not that one. Tony would totally be in prison for his behavior. He just would. So he's got to be playing a character, which gives him that healthy outlet a couple hours a day to get rid of that energy in an organic manner and have fun with it. And that's cool. I like that. He is intentionally a fucking edgelord. And whether it's therapeutic for him or he's playing that character, it doesn't matter. Because in essence, you can tell, if you know anything about psychology, that he is playing that fucking character. He's in character. And he loves it. But he's only there for 2 or 3 hours a day. But there are people who live life that way. They're not just playing that character a couple hours a day. They live their life that way. And that's unhealthy. You know, for example, if someone were to let's pick apart Tony's stream so I can give you my analysis of it. The K-pop in the top right corner. Yes, K-pop sounds a lot like American pop. However, using Korean pop, you get to see Asian females who appear extraordinarily younger than they actually are. While they may be in their mid to late 20s, they appear to be in their teens, which caters to the ephebophiles, which is edgy. There is that stigma of people who have fetishes for Asians of being closet pedophiles or outwardly fucking open about it. But that's there for that edge. Any and every viewer that says something in Tony's chat, Tony immediately attacks them on purpose. Even if they're cordial, he attacks them to see how they're going to respond. And that's strategic. He's mining salt from his chat. He tries to get under people's skin. It's not just the people in the game, it's the people in the chat too. He plays the bad guy to a fucking T. Even his fans are insulted and demeaned and what's the word I'm looking for? There's a term for this. Talk to someone like a child. Talk down to someone. Talk to someone like you're better than them. Not patronized. Fuck me. Let me check something real quick. I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and we actually used that term, and I'm going to look that term up because it's fucking bugging me, and it's faster to just look up the damn word because I can't fucking think of it right now. Oh, you suck ass. Condescending. There we go. Got it. He's intentionally condescending because that gets under a lot of people's skins regularly. He uses memes that are intentionally edgy. You know, the I'm glad you're dead. The Keck laugh is the most annoying fucking thing, and he overuses it to annoy people. I mean, his entire stream is a pie slice of Psychology 101 and some of Psychology 102. I mean, he is intentionally mind fucking people. And that's an experience. And, you know, I've actually been upset because I haven't got to see him in like 3 weeks since I started, you know, streaming regular in the morning. I go to bed earlier and I don't get to see Tony because he's been streaming later and later. He used to start streaming around 11 or 12, and he's been starting between 1:30 and 2. So, I mean, our times are slightly off, and I miss seeing Tony. I like Tony's stream. I like Tony's stream because I am fascinated by psychology, and I love picking apart every little thing that he has added just to make the quintessential edgelord stream. I mean, he's built it perfectly, and he keeps adding little tidbits to it. I love it. I haven't spent as much time with you as I have with Tony. I got to spend a good month with Tony literally every day until I started streaming regularly. When I started streaming regularly, because I do BGS and some white knighting, it felt like it felt more like a job than having fun. You have fun in the evening, you do a job in the day. That's why I picked the time slot I did. I wake up and I go to work. You know, I do BGS and shit. But your particular time slot, which is right before Tony's, is usually when I'm either spending time with Lara, when I am watching a movie with Lara, whether we're going out to dinner, or it's right around where my second stream would be if I chose to do a second one in the day, which would be my Eve stream. So, I mean, I watch you when I can, and usually I'm there for about an hour and a half to 2 hours when I finally do get to see you. But I haven't got to spend as much time with you as I have with Tony to completely pick apart the stream. I will say the reason I was putting a couple definitions in your chat is that some of your Zoomers, they're not gankers. Some of your guys are griefers. They are doing it for the assault. They're doing it to get to other people. However, I don't get that same vibe from you at all. That just seems to be the crowd that decided to follow you. You know, it's like one moth is drawn to the flame. However, you'll catch a fuck ton of flies with a fly trap. And I feel as though your stream is offering that honey for the flies, so to speak. And the flies are the ones that are, you know, sticking to your stream. Forgive the analogy. It's the first thing that popped in my head. It works. It's very accurate, but I probably could have chosen a slightly better one. But I don't mean that to sound negative. I just mean that's one reason. The narrative you have chosen for what I have seen in your stream caters to the Zoomer crowd to make them feel comfortable and accepted. You know, it kind of tenders that, making them feel comfortable in their own skin in that I won't say it's a breeding ground for creating griefers, but I will say it is a picture perfect petri dish for the griefer to develop from the ganker, because it's the aura of acceptance and absolutely no correction. Now, is that a bad thing? No, not at all, because like I said before, so long as somebody is exercising that and that mentality in a video game rather than in real life, that is therapeutic, because they are venting that emotion and that negativity in a constructive manner, meaning that it is being expressed virtually rather than physically. However, there is a fine line when it turns from healthy to being enabling and becomes an addiction, to actually thrive on those emotions rather than vent them. It's one thing to vent, it's another to embrace. And that takes a trained eye to be able to spot. Am I saying that I have that trained eye? No, but I am fascinated by human behavior and the patterns within human behaviors. That is one reason I play games. If I were to react to all the negative shit in my life, I would probably not be here. That is true in the real world. Which is what I was saying about Tony's stream. There is no way that man is the man he plays in the game, because he'd be in prison. He'd be on more fucking FBI watch lists than you could possibly imagine. He would be in prison. Okay? And there's no way. Which is why I'm able to enjoy that, because I can. It's more like taking a psychology class just watching a stream, and rather than taking the class, and here you go, Cal. This is gonna. I'll read that in just a sec. While Tony's stream is like taking a psychology class, your stream is like watching the class rather than taking it, if that makes sense. Catholic or Christian? I gotcha. That makes sense. But I have noticed that successful streams have an air of... I forgot to turn in my bounties. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. They are a show, not a program. They are a show. And it's not always the streamer that provides that show. Sometimes it is the group surrounding the streamer that provides that show. For example, Lara was most popular because of the party we created and the people that we had, the conversations that were there. But when those people stopped playing the game, the viewers stopped watching when it was just Lara. And that disheartened Lara, so she wound up, streaming less and less and less. She's starting to get back into it, but she's learning to create her own show, something she enjoys doing, rather than depending on her friends to provide, that atmosphere. Which is to say, she started streaming games that she has fun doing. She's actually enjoying herself, and that's attractive to viewers. Good morning, Lara. You finally out of bed? I had to wake you up twice last night. Kept having nightmares. Good. You're not supposed to remember them. Devout hedge witch. There's nothing wrong with that, Nalia. There's nothing wrong with that. What am I doing? I turned in my bounties. I did the missions. Did I sell my raw trade? I did. I think. Yes. Okay, I've done raw trade. I've done bounty hunting. I've done missions. CG. Gotcha. Okay. Exploration. Now murder. There's 5 server ticks. One of them is not active today. I don't know if somebody else has already done it and maxed it out, because I don't know if it's finite or not. But I sat there for 30 minutes and it wouldn't spawn, so I'm wondering. Let's see, if I can't do the 5th one, I can do exploration. Some of my closest friends are priests, reverends, and the like. I've had some of the awesome. Well, I'm going to quote my dad on his deathbed. When the priest was trying to have a conversation with him to see where he was spiritually, he got annoyed. My dad was a psychiatrist. I'm sorry, not a psychiatrist. He was a psychologist. But my dad got annoyed with his incessant prying and looked at him and told him to go away. Literally just said, go away. And I just kind of giggled a little bit, and I looked at him. I said, he seemed genuine. He seemed, easy enough to talk to. And he looked at me, looked me square in the eyes, and even though the description for him looking over at me is taking longer than the actual act did, in a split second from me saying he seemed easy enough to talk to, he looked at me, furrowed his brow, and said, they all are. And almost seemed angrily annoyed. Oh, sweet. Cool. What is it? All of it? Courageously fighting for the lives of problems every elect. I mean, it would take a larger bandwagon than a single state passing laws to prohibit and punish abortion, because we are the country that we are. One state punishing abortion for up to 10 years in prison, aka Arkansas, literally all they've got to do is drive to fucking Oklahoma, or drive to Missouri, or drive down to, it is a start, yes, but because of the freedom that we allow in this country. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna jump in this ship. I did find out yesterday that I actually have a Diamondback Explorer that will jump 80 light years. 80 light years. That's amazing.
Rotational correction disabled.
I like that, Nalia. If you don't try to cram your beliefs down my throat, I won't try to shred your psyche. I actually do both. I am a reverend, and I also am a personal student, not a professional student, a personal student of psychology. 5799 DBX. Oh my gosh, that's the 80 light year DBX. It's interesting. It's not currently sitting at 80 light years because the FSD that does that is sitting in the ship that I'm in. Let's look at the CG. Laura's gambling. I think you're the first one to gamble today. Welcome to wake up, roll out of bed, and gamble before coffee. meant to open the mission board, not the commodities market. Yeah, she did. I'm just fucking with you. Mountaineer will probably tune in and immediately gamble too. That's where most people are commonly mistaken. It's not about how long the jump is, but what I may be missing from taking such long jumps. I don't think of it that way because I'll travel economical route when I'm doing exploration. I think about what things I may be missing because I can't reach them. Anyone can travel the economical route. It's not that hard to do. Community goal, support serious atmospheric condition by providing ammonia world exploration data. Betancourt base in dark region. Okay. You can see that view. I will give you an example. And we'll give you an example. Anyone. I labeled it Raxla. Because that's what I was looking for when I went here. I'm going to show you something. This discovery has my name on it. And it's had my name on it since before carriers. Once carriers came out, I made a beeline for it so Lara could put her name on it. This system can only be reached if you have a 70, I think it's 4. I think it's a 74 light year jump range because you have to neutron jump in. And it's a one-way trip. How did I get out of a one-way trip? Well, I'll tell you. Make a long story short, the Gnosis agreed to come and rescue me. My reasons for not just suiciding out was that it's against my religion. And that's what I explained to FDev. It was against my religion. I started another commander to play the game because this one was stuck. And I wasn't going to suicide him. He was just going to be the commander that got lost searching for Raxla. But the commander that got lost searching for Raxla was also the only commander that jumped from the Gnosis' launch point into the cone sector all the way to the Pleiades and farmed and mined 400 tons of meta-alloys so we could drop them to prevent the Thargoid attack because they accidentally released that 6 hours early, which was me. That was me. I went and got some meta-alloys so that when the event happened, I could go out and do that and their little storytelling wouldn't be a lie. Well, the Gnosis, in light of that fact, because I, streamed it. Yes, it was, I'm about to get to me blowing up there. The Gnosis decided to repay the commander that rescued the Gnosis, myself. They were going to take the 5-week journey because the Gnosis could only move once a week at the time. It couldn't jump like a fleet carrier. And it still can. And it's actually being decommissioned because of it. But they agreed to the 5-week rescue mission to rescue me. And I agreed to wait because I had already started another account. I was going to leave him there. But when FDev found out that I wouldn't suicide for religious reasons, they didn't want my commander name being in the lore. Rather than spend 5 weeks moving the Gnosis to rescue me, technically 6 because they'd have to jump out. But rather than spending 5 or 6 weeks to rescue me, FDev decided it would be easier to magically whisk me away to here. So my name did not get into the lore. The Gnosis did not get to rescue me. But I got to turn in the system data. And as far as the Gnosis went, yes, I made all that trip out there, which means I gutted my Conda for nothing but cargo. And I showed back up with meta alloys. And when I went out to dump them for the Thargoids, as the Thargoids approached the meta alloys, I turned to fight, forgetting that I had no hull. And my hull didn't matter, because as soon as I fired at the Thargoids, the Gnosis blew me up for causing damage inside the no-fire zone. And I was whisked away to a detention facility 400 light years away. Yes, that happened. That totally happened, and that shit was funny. I mean, it was instant salt. I was instantly salty. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Damn it, that was the wrong button. I said, are you fucking kidding me? And they were like, nope, you're dead. It was funny, but it was a good experience. It almost made Lara quit playing the game, though. That's something we don't usually talk about. She literally almost quit playing the game. She was on an exploration trip and stopped everything to turn around and come back to get on the Gnosis to go to the unexplored area, and only for it not to go, which means she cut short her expedition.
Frameshift drive charging.
And she was salty enough she almost quit playing the game.
1.
Come again? Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, but everything you've heard, excuse me, fucking peanuts. Everything that you've heard could not happen in any other game. These are the experiences that we have. Elite Dangerous. We love this game, man. I say this almost every stream. I try to beat it into people's head how much content can be in this game with a little imagination. It's a beautiful game, man. It really is. It allows for so much personal narrative if you just show a little ambition and take the initiative to create that personal narrative and exercise that muscle that is your imagination.